Welcome to the Women's National League wrap for Series 7. I'm joined by Seana and Alana, and as usual, we've lots to discuss, so we're going to fly through it. Starting off with DLR Waves against Shelburne, the Waves beat the champs 1-0. Katie Malone got the all-important goal. Seana, what did you think of the overall performances there?
Yeah, it was a great game to be at and a great game to watch. I think it's fantastic to see games becoming more competitive outside the top three. I think DLR deserved their win over the course of 90 minutes. Brilliant goal. I think in terms of the composure that Katie Malone showed to slot that away. They didn't have an abundance of chances leading up to that, and it was pretty much all Shelburne, but that goes to show that the quality of the finish even more. I'm delighted for Graham and John as equally as I'm sad for myself being a Shells fan. No, I thought in terms of what I was really impressed with in the game was the fact that in previous games where maybe they haven't they've gone ahead or they've been getting a result that they want, whether it's a draw or the win, they just haven't been able to kind of manage the game in terms of seeing it out. But I thought they were brilliant. The players took the direction really well from the sideline, and they slowed the game down when they needed to, and they sped it up at other points. So excellent win for DLR, and I think it's a big wake-up call for Shells.
Yeah, and going back to that Katie Malone goal, like the finish, like the touch that she made, it was just unbelievable. I saw an interview she did after the game, and she was saying, she was looking back and she saw Amanda Budden off her line a couple of times, and she kept the eye, she got the goal, and they got the win. The biggest result of the weekend now, Peamount versus Cork City. They beat Cork 8-1 at PRL Park. Anya O'Gorman got on the score sheet 5 times. Alana, just how influential is she going to be this season for Peamount?
Yeah, very, as she is always. I'm a really 5-star performance, as you say, the 5 goals. And I know even afterwards, I think it says it all really. She was saying in the interview, that she had missed a few, and that's what she was focusing on rather than the one she had put in, or even improving her crossing as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of reflective of her class, that she is constantly improving, even though she's already so good. But yeah, she's a massive player for them. And helped now by the fact that she's top of the Golden Boot race. I think she's done 8 goals now for 7 games. Now that 5 there at the weekend really would have helped that one out, but she was up there last year too. So yeah, it just shows how vital she is. But she's also on the assists list too, and just a big presence in the team in a leadership kind of capacity. So yeah, a massive player for James O'Callaghan's side, and I'm sure she'll continue to be now into the rest of the season.
Yeah, and she certainly looks to be enjoying moving up the pitch tiny bit. I know she's kind of moved more into that forward position, and sure, look at showing. Also, another player that's extremely influential for a team in the WNL is Kirsten Sample for Sligo. Sligo played Wexford on Saturday. It was a good performance by the youths. They won 2-0, but without Sample, I think it could have been 4 or 5-0 for Wexford. Alana, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Sligo kind of set up like we kind of thought they would. How they did earlier in the season, kind of against Shelburne, really compact. But yeah, I think it was, even though they lost, it was a good performance from Sligo, because obviously youths are a top side, and they did kind of put up some. Becky Watkins with her first goal for Wexford too, followed up by Ciara Roster. But probably, as I say, yeah, a great game from Kirsten Sample. Helped by the back line too, who I thought were kind of, as I say, really kind of closed off, and they stood up to a lot of the big players. Like you say, they kept Ellen Malloy and Kylie Murphy contained, which is hard to do in fairness. But yeah, they're away to Athlone, I think, next Saturday. But that Shells Wexford one tomorrow is the big one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'll be tuning in 100%. Over in Dalymount, the visitors Galway took all 3 points in a 3-0 win against Bows. All 3 goals are absolute crackers, Seana. Do you have a favourite?
Yeah, I think it'd have to be Jenna Slattery's goal. It was a brilliant piece of individual skill and technique, and I was delighted for her. But equally, the bit of play for I think it was Shauna Brennan's goal, where Julianne got on the ball, turned from a throw in, and played a blind pass for Shauna to run onto. It was just an excellent piece of football from Julianne. But for me, Jenna Slattery's volley was brilliant to watch.
Yeah, and like you often see players when they get those kind of volley opportunities, they absolutely just sky them up into the air. But the way she took the ball down, and it was an absolutely cracking finish. Finally, Alana Athlone came out 2-0 winners against Treaty. They deservedly got the win. I think Kelsey Monroe, Emily Corbett getting the goals, but Treaty kind of kept them at bay for a good bit of the game. And maybe it was a missed opportunity, do you think, for them to get some points?
Yeah, maybe yet to get a win this season, but maybe their next round, I'll talk about that in a second, could be an opportunity for that. But a second win of the season for Tommy Hewitt's at Alone. I know he said recently that a big goal of theirs is to get 2 on the bounce. Now that could be tough given they have DLR next, but as you say, yeah, I think Treaty did kind of hold them off for a long time. Again, it's kind of that conversation where their goalkeeper was maybe one of the standout players for them, which is a tough position to be in. They're obviously constantly under pressure there, but I think Michaela Mitchell, as I say, and Jessie Mendez was obviously firm for them at the back too, and even had a chance, I think, to score at one point on her own. But yeah, I think they're ever improving, and maybe this weekend against Cork City, the Munster Derby, that'll be a real cracker, as you say, because both sides will be looking as that as an opportunity to pick up some points.
Yeah, absolutely. And as usual, thanks Mel for joining me, and I'll speak to you both very soon.